to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. It's so nice getting here with these big baskets on our chairs. It feels like Christmas dinner. Okay, I'm going to turn over the meeting to our superintendent.
Thank you so much, and I have a few briefs. Don't miss, by the way, from our medal students, your metallic bows, and your lovely plaque from our woodshop students. Honors board chief, front two, and then I think the bags because. I'd like to start tonight with our audit report, so I'd like to introduce Joe Sanders, our external auditor.
Thank you, Dr. Downs. Good evening to the Board of Education, Administration, and the community. I'm a partner with the firm of Cohen and Danowski, and we're here to present the audit results for June 30th, 2025. My report is attached to the general purpose financial statements, the larger document, with an unmodified opinion. It's the highest level of assurance that you get with the financial statements that are presented. We have a different opinion on the extra activity funds because of the inception of the collection of the cash. The district does have good controls in place. Part of what the external audit does is to assess the internal control structure, the financial transactions, are there checks and balances in place, and the business office has effectuated a good system of internal controls and checks and balances over the financial transactions. In the general purpose financial statement, there's a reconciliation of the Board of Education gets a chance. I will direct them to page 16 and then back to the budget to actual pages. That's probably the most important part of this actual document. It's a reconciliation of the unassigned fund balance. And we know that the unassigned fund balance is the free and clear fund balance. We know the real property tax law says you cannot have more than 4% of next year's budget in your unassigned fund balance. The district's in compliance with that, slightly underneath that amount. The buildup in your unassigned fund balance we know comes from how did we do with respect to our revenue side of the budget. And you can see there's about $600,000 over, so it's very close. And then how did we do on the spending side of that budget? And on the spending side of the budget, when you get the chance and you look back at page 62, it's 1.8% of the budget was remaining. So you were really pretty good as far as coming on target. And so the unassigned fund balance then, the buildup, revenues over budget, expenditures under budget, grows your unassigned fund balance, and that gives you the mechanism to come up with funding with the next year's budget to reduce the tax levy. So that's the majority of where that funding went. And then you did put some money, $550,000 into your capital reserve, the old capital reserve. And so I think that that's you're good as far as we ended up on the spending side of the budget, enough to go ahead and reduce the tax levy, kind of in line with what you did in the years past, but also to take care of the capital reserve. And by the way, congratulations on the capital proposition passing. That's very exciting. So this is additional money that you know voter approved from years past, and so the $550,000 is a good place. The other reserves that you have, the auditor has to make a decision whether or not they're in compliance with general municipal law, and they are, okay? And that the funding and spending is in accordance with whatever the Board of Education has authorized to happen, and that was the case, okay? And the capital reserve, as we know, is in accordance with education law. So I think that's kind of the broad overview of the financial statement. There was a communication underneath that general purpose financial statement, and it's several pages, but on an abbreviated basis, basically what it says to you is that all of the items that are presented in the financial statement are in accordance with the standards. There were no disagreements with management in conducting the audit. I really wanted to thank Mr. DeVito and the staff for their cooperation during the audit process. It was a little lengthy this year because of the compensated absence calculation. The district did implement Government Accounting Standards Board number 101, which is compensated absences. It's the presentation of this liability on the government-wide financial statement. And basically what it talks about is what is the value of the days that we pay out when someone leaves the district, or the sick time or vacation time that they use when they're with the district. So the district's in compliance with that already. We had a few journal entries, and you'll see them attached to the document. nothing significant, okay? We had no disagreements, and everything was in accordance with what we had expected. And just, a reminder at the bottom of page 2 in that letter, there's something called corrected and uncorrected misstatements. That's the terminology for journal entries, okay? So it sounds a little bit more onerous than it really is, so I did want to just, bring it to the Board of Education's attention. Behind that then, we have the management letter, and so as I talked about, the internal control structure, we have no new comments, okay? And the one comment that we brought to the Board of Education's attention last year, the district went ahead and implemented additional procedures, so that's been remediated, okay? So that, talks to the strong internal control structure that you do have in place. And then the last document, because the State Education Department wants us to report separately on the extra classroom activity funds cash basis, is the extra classroom activity funds. And so there is a discrete accounting record for each of these various clubs and activities, monies that have been collected by the students, monies that have been dispersed with the controls in place. And you can see the ending balance is about $150,000 of cash flow that goes through these various clubs and activities. So that's my abbreviated version. I'm sorry if I went fast. Any questions, please direct them back to Mr. DeVito, and I'm more than happy to discuss them in further.
Thank you. Thank you.
As for the report, it was most welcomed by me. Like I was in an economics class with you. I mean, you certainly are very thorough and make the presentation very well. We're grateful for the services you've rendered. You compliment this, that he and his office were cooperative with you. We're certainly pleased with the report itself. So thank you for coming and thank you for your abbreviated report, because even in its abbreviated form, it still says we're doing a good job. We're on the right track. We're grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a very good holiday.
Thank you so much. And now we'd like to introduce our metal and wood students who will do the student showcase for tonight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Members of the community, my name is Steve Harvey. I'm the Director of Technology for Long Beach Public Schools. Tonight we have 3 members of our technology department here to discuss 2 of the course pathways that we provide and offer here at Long Beach Public Schools. We have our wood shop teacher, Eric Heck, our metal shop teacher, Danny Lerner, and one of our students, Alice Krasminski, who's been in a variety of the courses that we offer here. Together, they are going to talk about the courses that are offered in our wood shop and our metal shop, and the pathways that these courses, these classes provide our students with in our CTE pathways. First up is Mr. Lerner.
I'm Dan Lerner, or also sometimes known as Mr. Welder. I think everyone hear me?
It's for the-
Yeah, exactly.
So the courses we offer in the metal shop are metal processing 1 and 2, welding 1 through 4, and robotics also takes place inside the metal shop. So metal 1 is an entry-level course. Every course starts with shop safety, and then we have a whole bunch of different projects. Sorry, it's not on loop, but the top left corner you see the metal T project. That project, for instance, requires students to learn how to use a ruler and measure and use a hacksaw to cut the materials. They then use a bench grinder to deburr the edges, a file to deburr the interior edges, and an angle grinder to remove the coating off the outside of the material so that it doesn't contaminate the weld. Once they've done all of that and they spend some time practicing welding, they can then weld, and then we destructive test the project. And you can see what failed, why, and how to improve. So there are numerous projects inside Metal 1 similar to that, where students can work their way around the room and learn how to use tools, machines, equipment, and which materials they should be using. Metal 2 is kind of like an extension of Metal 1. It offers additional exposure around the classroom and some more advanced projects. You can see Leo stamping the metal leaves. So if you guys see your roses, those were actually all made by students during the Tech Expo, which is why I had some, which is why I still had some. They've already taken some home and made their own. So they actually used a CNC plasma cutter for that project. They learned how to use all sorts of other different tools and machinery. They learned how to use math gas torch. You can see Leo stamping this project, which is with a hammer. And then they weld different thicknesses of metal as well. We touch on a couple other things, including an individual project, and also we get a little more into welding, which if they enjoy the past two courses, leads us into the welding 1 through 4 courses. So welding 1 through 4 are actually some of my favorite courses. We start with lessons and techniques and procedures, but the vast majority of time is spent hands-on. Students actually weld. We TIG, we MIG, we arc weld, and we use a torch for oxyacetylene welding, which is what you can see Brandon doing at the top. So he's actually welding with the torch with oxygen and acetylene. We weld in various different positions. So some of our welds are flat on the table. We move to vertical or horizontal, and we weld various material types. So we weld steel, aluminum, and stainless steel. Our welding 3 and 4 students actually take on mentorship roles for the welding 1 and 2 students. So they're actually able to help them, and they also will do some more advanced welding. Aluminum, for instance, is easier to weld flat. It is very, very difficult to weld horizontally or vertically. If you've ever melted aluminum, it drops very, very quickly from gravity. So these are the types of things these students learn in those classes. At the end of these courses, at the end of the end of welding 2, if they've taken a full CTE pathway, they get that stamped on their transcript, and they also leave with something else. So at the conclusion of those courses, as long as they've completed the pathway, we bring in AWS, which is American Welding Society tester, and he will provide an on-site test for these students. In the past few years, I've had 4 students walk away with a national certification, which is amazing. BOCES, for instance, does not offer that. They offer an internal qualification. So if they were to go try to get a job in California, that would not be recognized. But our certification is recognized anywhere in the country.
That's great.
Thank you. Robotics is offered in the metal shop also. In addition to all the robot-based things we do, there's also a focus on abilities that some students might get a boost with. And I'm taking that from having designed a team robot over a number of years. We go over electrical theory. So that bottom video that, can you play that again? Thank you.
Go back and slide.
That bottom video, we actually go over voltage, current, resistance. We learn how to solder. We learn how to use a multimeter. And we actually solder that kit together. And then we move on to things like the design process. So those putters in the picture, the second from the bottom on the left, those are putters that each student's individually designed and then 3D printed. And we will eventually play around with golf. But we can't yet because the cardboard boat race has started, which is a much more serious design process. And it teaches them a whole bunch of things, including research, leadership, critical thinking, and subgroup organization. This year, we also brought in the community. And the middle school is going to be coming to the boat race hopefully this year, as well as some outside schools. I'm hoping to expand that in the future. But this is one of the most fun things to me. That boat happened to make it 6 laps back and forth across the pool, and it sunk with Dr. Smith and I. As we were going down, he turned to me and said, "You remember what he said?" He said, "This is the most fun I've had in a while." And that's what this is about. It's about learning, but having fun, and that's what makes it really stick. Unless there are any questions, I'm actually going to hand the room over to Alex Kaminsky, who is my student, who has taken every single one of those classes.
I have one question, if I might.
Yes.
That is, what's the interface between your program and internships?
What is other internships? So there are not, as far as I'm aware. I wish there were. I wish we could organize something like that. That would be really awesome. I have had a number of students who left my class and immediately got jobs. I love them.
Is that because it just hasn't been a hookup, or there's just not a need, or just an overlook, or why so? Because I'm told that we have a pretty vibrant internship program in high school. Was it extent of this program?
Not that I'm aware, I would love to have some things come through.
Thanks. Thank you for the
Do
presentation.
you think that companies, welding has its own set of safety standards? Do you think part of the challenge would be getting companies to take kids on as apprentices prior to them having the certification?
It's possible. It's possible. A lot of companies also use their own internal qualifications also, and would test somebody right off the bat and might ignore like BOCE's qualification anyway. So it really depends.
Thanks.
Actually, can I ask you just one quick question?
Yeah.
So if kids wanted to pursue this like further, are there college level welding programs as well? So they come out of school obviously with this national certification, which is awesome. So I guess better question is it necessary to have more or higher education? I'm just curious.
We have tried over the years to partner with different colleges, and we are trying to build something right now.
Okay.
Hopefully, we're looking into doing that.
So at this point, there aren't colleges that
Right now, we're
specialize in
not.
welding.
Right now, we're not aligned with anybody. I'm trying to get a.
Or the trade program, right? No, but I'm wondering about college programs. Not necessarily at this point. Okay, I was just curious.
What about underwater welding? Is that a college?
Oh, that's a big.
Well, I definitely thought that we were gonna do that in the pool.
Yeah.
I don't know much about underwater welding.
Yeah, I know it's a huge career and they make a ton of money, because I think it's going to be dangerous.
It is.
There are pathways.
FDNY has a whole underwater
Yeah.
welding.
I think the dangers are less related to the welding and more
It's the
scuba diving.
scuba diving
Yeah.
part, yeah.
And I would also just like to say, I know personally a few children who need help with the welding, and you made such an amazing difference in their lives. Whereas before they found welding and they didn't always feel successful, your program helped make them feel successful. They were able to graduate from Long Beach High School, and now they are working and loving the work that they're doing. So thank you for all that you do, because I know you reach so many students who sometimes school doesn't really reach them, but you do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Dan, do you know what the average salary for a professional welder is in New York?
I don't. I know that you're gonna start somewhere around $20 an hour, and it goes up very, very quickly.
I'm gonna have to ask my friend Google about that.
So, Dr. Gallagher, I know students in here that went up from 20 to 20, Dr. Gallagher. Some of the students I know who are now making like 50, 60 grand a year.
Yeah, maybe you just said 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're 22 years old.
Good evening. My name is Alex Grzminski. Today I wanted to share how the welding and metal programs at Long Beach High School have shaped me to who I am, both as a student and a person. When I first started taking Metal 1, I had no idea just how much these classes would impact me. Since then, I've also taken Metal 1, 2, 3, and I've also taken Welding 1, 2. I'm currently in 3, and I'm gonna pursue welding 4 in the next semester. Each class has pushed me to my greatest strength, challenged me, and taught me how to do something that there's not tools or the techniques, but also about myself. These programs have given me the opportunity to learn real, hands-on skills that most high school students never get the chance to experience. I learned how to cut, grind, weld, and fabricate. I learned how to take an idea from a sketch to a finished project. But beyond the technical skills, I learned how to problem solve, how to think creatively, and how to be patient when things don't fit right. Most importantly, the class has helped me build the confidence. There's something powerful about taking raw material and turning it into something useful, something strong. Every time I complete a project, there's home. I feel more capable. I started to realize that if I could handle the sparks, heat, the precision, and the challenges of welding, then I can handle it all. Here I have a piece of aluminum. Just a piece of aluminum. Here's one project I did, metal 1 is the spinning top. I learned how to cut on the lathe, and I created this. I sketched out how I wanted it to look, and I created this. This is a little whistle. Mine's a little not polished anymore, but I learned how to polish it, cut it on the lathe, and it came out really well. It's pretty loud, but it's pretty loud. So take the air hose, put it in there, it freaks. I also want to recognize how lucky we are. Not every school offers something like this. I have friends that go to school in Oceanside and other places, even kids in Tennessee. Just talking to somebody, he says they have a forming class. They don't get nowhere near this experience working with metal or anything like that. And even fewer of them charge it for free. These classes open doors for me, doors to my future, opportunities, careers, and passion I might never have discovered otherwise. The welding and metal programs at OPHS gave me more than technical knowledge. They gave me confidence in my abilities, pride in my work, and excitement for my future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alex, what grade are you in?
I'm in 12.
Wow. I don't know if you remember me from the
I
e-school
do.
playground. But I'm feeling old. Man.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us back again. It's always great to have the opportunity to brag a little bit about the wonderful things that are happening in our shops and brag about the amazing students that we have. I'm going to start with an overview of the woodworking curriculum and what a typical year looks like in woodshop. We cover everything from basic measuring, project layout, general safety, proper tool and machine use, machine-specific safety, all the way up to project design and construction. In a typical year, I try to include at least 2 individual projects along with 2 group or service projects. And I'll give you a peek at some of those on a later slide. I also want to share a little bit about our DDP curriculum, which stands for Design and Drawing for Production. We begin the year with some traditional mechanical drawing techniques and an introduction to the drawing tools, which is always an interesting experience because oftentimes I find that drawing boards and T-squares, triangles are pretty foreign to our students. We also work with computer-aided design. We explore different types of drawings, orthographics, isometrics, pictorials, and we learn how to dimension properly. Pretty much everything we do is all based around the engineering design process. Over the past several years, I've been trying to incorporate more of the production side of DDP so that we can spend some time in the wood shop, where I'm also bringing that class up tonight. So we spent some time in the wood shop building both high and low fidelity prototypes, and I'll also share a few of those examples in just a few minutes. Here are a few of our recent individual projects. The chessboard is a project we completed last year, and thanks to the addition of a 3D printer in the wood shop, the students can now design and print their own custom chess pieces. So the chess pieces that you see with that board, they weren't purchased. The student actually drew those out in SketchUp and then printed them on our 3D printer. Our cutting boards are always a big hit with the parents, mostly because they tend to show up as holiday gifts. And the students love being able to personalize them using the laser engravers. So if you see in the lower left-hand corner, the wave and the last name, those were all designed in Canva and then printed with the laser engraver that we got in 2021. These are some of the group and service projects from past years. You might recognize the picnic tables that are located in the high school lower commons. We built those last year at the suggestion of Mr. Myers and Mr. Epstein in an effort to make that area more inviting for the student body. And the first thing Dr. Smith said when I showed up in September this year was, what are we planning to make for the school this year? The Adirondack chairs are always a fun project, and they teach a lot of different woodworking skills. For the past 2 or 3 years, we've been building chairs for the PTSA to raffle off at their Morning Madness fundraiser. Thank you for bringing us in on that, Mrs. Bloom. And a few years ago, we had an incredible opportunity to build some gifts for the Northport Veterans Hospital. One year we delivered 10 custom-built American flags. That's the picture in the upper left. They were distributed throughout the campus to decorate various common areas. And the second year, we built and gifted 10 Adirondack chairs to the facility that they placed in various places around the campus. This gave us the opportunity to take a field trip to tour the campus and meet a few veterans that were residents at the nursing facility there. It was an amazing experience that I certainly know I'll never forget, and I think impacted the students that were involved as well. Unfortunately, that was pre-COVID, and we weren't able to do that trip in those COVID years, but hopefully that's something I can bring back at some point. Additionally, we gifted the Flanders Fields plaque to the Long Beach VFW and built the hardwood American flag that hangs in the high school main office. Finally, I'd like to leave you with a short video that gives you a peek into what's happening in the shop right now.
Becoming who we are as my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost. Wake me up when September ends.
Say hi. Finger joint, so you get a plus with thoughtful here, and you slide together like that. So the finger joint adds a lot of strength, right? And excellent. And what are we making? Not hockey, right? And what's today's job, Riley?
Not hockey stick. All right, excellent, nice job, guys.
All right, walk me through your design.
And our sides are trapezoid, and then we're adding on trapezoid system.
All right, Justin, what are we making?
Making a solar cooker.
Solar cooker. And here are all your parts. Okay. What's been the most challenging part of this project?
Finding that cooker from all my sides to stand in order to run the same sun projecting motions.
And how do you think it's gonna work?
I think it's gonna work very good. I think it's gonna put all marshmallows.
All right? Very good.
Technology classes because I like doing things with my hands rather than just writing and taking notes. And it's much more fun to work in any sort of tech or lab room with my hands rather than just sitting at a desk.
And you're graduating in June, right?
Yes, I am.
Where are you going in September?
Oswego, hopefully,
For what?
for tech ed, for welding.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, that video was made a couple of days ago. Today when we were in the ending video was the young lady saying that she's hopefully going to Oswego State for tech ed, focusing on welding. And today,
She showed up with her accessories.
I'm excited to see that. So these are two of the classrooms that offer two of the pathways. And Dr. Fowler. We have a little bit more about this.
I'll just, my part will take just 5 minutes. So, I just wanted to contextualize this presentation in terms of our whole career tech ed program here and some of the plans that we have for the future. Thank you. So, our CTE programs, we believe, start in our elementary schools with foundations that help our students kind of to think about the building blocks for technology. They're further developed in the middle school, and then the high school is where those pathways really come in. And we think we have some great possibilities for the future as well. Our elementary foundations include career explorations through our guidance program. Every elementary student creates their own digital portfolio in grades 4 and 5, and that progresses with them through the grade levels. In the STEM program at the in the elementary school, you've already seen some presentations on coding, Shark Tank projects. Students learn to use presentation software. They garden. You've seen our great new hydroponic gardens as well as our greenhouse at the middle school. At the middle school, we start to offer courses in technology, some courses in 6th grade and 7th grade that build on those foundational schools. tools rather. In 8th grade, every student now in our middle school takes career and financial management. That's a shift we made this year, and Island Park also made that shift as well, setting our students up for two things. First of all, any career pathway in technology requires career and financial management as a prerequisite, so they get that in 8th grade. It also is part of the new state graduation requirements that every student has to have a certain amount of financial literacy. So we do that in 8th grade to give our students the basis to start to think about these things in high school. Everything from, we say balancing a checkbook, I don't really know anyone who does that anymore, but understanding balancing a Venmo, but applying for mortgages, car loans, just all kinds of things that they'll need to know in their future life, and it's not too early to really start thinking about that. In our high school, this is a little too small to see on the board, but we have several CTE pathways. You've heard from our automotive students before, TV and film, metalworking, innovation and design, business marketing, and computer science, as well as our medical assisting program, which we offer through NASA BOCES on site in our Nike building. All of these pathways end with students that get career and industry-ready certifications. That means they can step out of high school and get a job, whether that job is to help them get through college or is a pathway to a different kind of career. They exit here with an industry-level credential. There's a list of the courses that we offer both in business and in career and technology in our high school. You can see that list is pretty impressive. Our business courses, we are pursuing many different dual enrollment options we hope for next year. We've been talking to the board about some of the exciting possibilities for dual enrollment. It looks like we may be able to offer dual enrollment courses to our students at no cost next year, which is unbelievable through NASA BOCES. I don't want to make any promises because I'll believe it if I see it, but that does seem to be the way the state is going and the way we'll be able to do it as well. So the more upper level courses we can get accredited for dual enrollment, and if it costs nothing to our families, that would be amazing. We have a number of CTE clubs at the middle school and high school. The robotics team always makes an appearance at board meetings, so I'm sure they'll come back this year as well. That's last year's robot. And we are starting this year some career and industry advisory boards. We started already with marine technology, but we want to pull together some people in the community in various fields who would be willing to come to like one virtual meeting a year and just pick our brains a little bit about how we could better prepare students for that career in that field and to serve as a resource for us. Do you know of places that want welding interns, or are there ways that we can hook our students into finance, local finance in our community, or finance the virtual level? Even some of our cybersecurity and computer courses, which I'll talk about in a minute. We're educators, we're not necessarily experts in cybersecurity. Few of us have the kind of skills that our teachers have who are here tonight. So we need to tap into those industry professionals to make sure that we're doing the right thing to prepare our students, whether it's for a career in law or medicine or welding or woodworking. Oh, I just want to go back. The first of our career and technology industry advisory board meetings will actually be December 8th at 7 p.m. We're going to be sending out an email to people in the community, see if anyone wants to hop on our Zoom and help us think about how we can better integrate things into our curriculum that will help us prepare our students for that field. Future possibilities, this is what we're most excited about. We will begin offering AP cybersecurity next year. We're experimenting with that. It's new to AP, but it does seem to lead to an industry level certification. We think that's an important field for the future and something we want to encourage our kids to go into. We have a lot of kids who are majoring in that in college. So if we can offer something like that in high school, that would be definitely beneficial to them. A little bit of a different proposal is a barbering program. And I have two girls, and I didn't really know much about barbering. All I remember is my dad got $5 haircuts when I was a kid. But I have 3 brothers, and when I asked them about it, they said I was out of my mind, that their haircuts are up to $40. They have to go every 2 weeks, and it is a very up-and-coming field and very lucrative for kids. AI cannot cut your hair. So for students who want to who like to be with people, like to socialize, like to talk to people, would love to work with their hands, have a little bit of an artistic bent, we are investigating bringing in a barbering program that would be housed at our high school. It would be offered in conjunction with Nassau BOCES, and our students, again, through a 1-year course, would graduate able to work as barbers or hairstylists. And I did look up the median salary for that, and apparently it can be between $60,000 and $80,000 a year, even more if you get into some of the high-end niche studios. We also are trying to next year create a Bloomberg lab in our high school. This is something we've been talking about for a few years. A Bloomberg lab essentially is renting terminals that give our students access to Bloomberg software. Some of the better high schools in our area have been doing that. They've had great success with it. It's costly. It would cost us about $100,000 a year, but we believe that we have some donors who might help support that, and we'd like to try to really provide that in our high school. It would elevate our business courses tremendously. It would also give our social studies courses, economics, participation in government, some great resources as well. And finally, as I said before, we're really trying to pursue more dual enrollment courses. What we're seeing is, for many kids, freshman, sophomore year of college are core courses that are very similar to what they took in junior and senior year of high school in terms of rigor, in terms of responsibility. And, if we can graduate kids with a number of high school credits, that gives them the opportunity to specialize more in college, to really pursue career opportunities, to maybe save a little money for their parents because college is expensive, to pursue graduate level studies even earlier. So we're trying to really, if this promise from BOCES comes through and we can do this at no cost to families, we think that would be great for our kids. And Dr. Smith and Ms. McMahon, our guidance counselor, visited we send a number of kids out right now for barbering and Nassau BOCES each year. So they visited their facility just to see what it would take to create that here. And while they were there, Dr. Smith got a haircut and it's looking pretty good.
Not much going on there.
So that's it. We just wanted to give a full overview of the whole program tonight. Any questions and comments from the board?
Just when Mr. Krasinski came up here, he reminded me of Jesse Eisenberg, and now you see it. He held a piece of aluminum up, and then he held up the whistle. As far as I'm concerned, you two guys are musicians, what you've done to this program in high school. I visited your program during the day, and I've seen it in the evening. Kids are engaged, they're having a great time. And you guys are quite enthusiastic and wonderful role models for them. So on behalf of the board, I want to thank you for the contributions you've made. You brought a kind of a weak program to new life. And like I said, you guys have been magicians, and I'm very, very grateful for the work you've done for the kids and for the district. So thank you, and thank you, Mr. Krasinski. You may want to see, now you see it with Jesse Eisenberg. And my last point was when I saw the wood shop, I thought that might have been an infringement on Home Depot. When I first saw it, I thought it was a Home Depot sign. But thank you very much.
I also just have a quick comment. First of all, wonderful. It's really great to hear such enthusiasm and how much you're really learning. And I hear a lot of geometry in your angles, and I just think that it's marvelous that you can really bring to life why we have to learn what an angle is, what a triangle is, and you create such beautiful things. My first question is, do you guys need anything?
You still got this question?
You didn't ask.
Yeah, stole my question.
What do you need? Do you need anything? Is there something else that you think our students would like? Say it now.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
We're gonna save Mr. DeVito some stress. I think we have what we need in the metal shop.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. I think we're giving you a whole new facility.
We are.
Yeah.
But until, I'm thinking different machine, because you mentioned the machine was from 2021, and I know a lot of those they break down early. Listen,
School starts forever.
if you can, yeah. If there's something that you do need, please let Mr. DeVito know, to let us know.
Yeah, it's not anxiety.
I actually just set up a demo for a machine that I saw at a conference, superintendent's conference day. I'll be hitting up Mr. Harvey and Mr. Theo for.
See, I knew you would like that. These things are
What's
changing.
the rough ballpark figure of how much it costs?
It's actually pretty approachable, I think. Anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000.
Chop change.
How much
It's
is
So one more thing, I saw those beautiful flags that you made. Have you ever thought of making any for maybe our VFW in town, Park Avenue?
I think I made one for the VFW the same year we did the plaque. I went with the life skills students, they did a field trip there, and one of the teachers had kind of mentioned how much the VFW does for that program, like gifts and everything. So we made the plaque, and I'm pretty sure we made a flag too, but I don't remember.
Okay, I'm good, when I go back there, I'll look them up.
I would be
Because I think
happy.
they would love one.
Yeah, it's something we would be happy to do. The service projects, I started incorporating after Sandy. Because we did an Adirondack chair raffle to raise a little bit of money, and the kids were so, just really into doing something to give back to the building. And that hasn't changed when we do the service projects. They're a lot of times the individual projects, when I clean out the lockers at the end of the year, they leave them behind, they don't even take them home. But when we do something for the building, or for the VFW, or the Adirondack chairs for the kids, they're just really, they like to give back, so.
Podiums have always been a nice gesture as well. The podiums that your woodworking has made, donated to the district. I believe this one in the high school was made by woodworking.
Yeah, well, this one I think was Mr. Cross in the middle school,
Yes.
and years ago, Mr. Crywood made some for the high school as well.
Yeah.
And we made the emblem to the front of it.
And these are beautiful. They're beautiful, thank you.
Hi, guys. It's always so good to see you two here, and I'm just so impressed with all the things that you do. What kind of paint did we use on this? Just curious.
It's a Rust-Oleum primer and paint.
Love it. It's beautiful, and the plaque is beautiful. One of the things I was wondering about is, and I know with scheduling in the high school, it's probably very difficult, but were you ever able to have like a double period so that by the time you get your equipment out, it's not time to clean up? I'm sure that the time constraints can be challenging.
Neither one of us do it. Jim Johnson has a double for the autumn.
Is that something that you would want to have happen?
I would certainly not discourage it. I would love that.
Because I can only imagine by the time you get all your equipment out, you get prepared, it's like, oh, clean up.
And then clean up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to make a lot of progress in one day on a project.
Yeah. Well, what you're doing is just incredible. I'm just so impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. So thanks for the presentation, Alex. Great public speaking. You're becoming a public speaker. It's pretty cool. I'm amazed that came out of you. This mic doesn't work though.
I know.
It's fine. So when I think of school, I think, and we see these presentations, this is what makes me happy. I mean, I entered the full-time workforce at 18, so having skills is incredible, tangible skills to really be productive in life. So when we went through the whole presentation with the all the certifications and the career readiness, and it just makes me really happy. There's no other way to describe it. So keep up all the great work and keep providing these awesome products because, I mean, I had to order paddles for someone's retirement recently, and they were all done up on wood shops. They were like $300 each. So keep that in mind if you guys open up an Etsy shop. You'll have a lot of people interested. So way to go, everyone. Thanks again. And thank you for the whole program as a whole. It's very important for us.
It's super impressive. Do you guys have dual periods ever? So any time do like woodworking combined with welding? So you do like combined projects or not yet?
We have had a couple students on the like an end table or a coffee.
Right, with like legs or something
Yeah,
else?
so the legs would be metal and then the top would be.
I asked because my husband's a woodworker and something he is really interested in, so I'm gonna find you afterwards, because learning how to weld. Because now he's getting into bigger projects, he's like, I should really learn how to weld. But I think what Sam said is super important. I did not take these kind of classes when I was growing up. It was a very traditional, academic route. And now in my later life, all of a sudden I've discovered things like painting, and I'm taking oil painting classes, and I truly enjoy. I can't wait to go to my painting classes. I send my pictures to Nora for critiquing like every week. But I think it's amazing that I've lived half my life and I didn't even realize that this was something that I would enjoy. So I think it's incredible that our kids can dabble in this stuff, even if they just take level 1, to get their feet wet a little bit and understand, these are skills that are transferable throughout your entire lifetime. So I think it's super cool, and I appreciate what you guys do. It's super important. And thank you, Dr. Gallagher, again, for your vision, because, in the years since my kids started here till now, this district has completely evolved and emerged. And I'm almost like jealous that I can't go back to high school and take all these classes. So it's really amazing. It's really cool. So thank you so much. Okay, I think we're good. We can move on. What do we have to do now? Student organization announcements. Dun, dun, dun.
How's it going, guys? So I have a couple things to report on over the last couple of weeks. So recently we just finished 2 of our biggest events for the year. We had the trick or treat and canned goods. Out of all 4 of the grades, we raised upwards of 900 cans for the Long Beach Food Pantry. So that went straight to the students. We were able to feed them for a little while, still feeding them, so that was great. We had our blood drive, I think, 2 weeks ago on Friday, and we actually did great. We were stressing about it the whole time, thinking we weren't going to be that good. We raised, I think, 50 units of blood, which saved, if you used, 150 lives. So 30% of all blood transfusion blood comes from high schools, so it was definitely great to have that be successful. And lastly, the Kiwanis Club from outside the high school has reached out to us, which is a charity club. We're unsure of the events they want to do with us in the high school. I was talking to Dr. Moran, he said it would be a great opportunity to definitely implement it in the high school eventually, so I'll keep you guys posted on what's going on with that. And thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
So, the Key Club is the sister child club.
Yes. So, that's really exciting that.
Awesome. Okay, questions and comments about public on tonight's agenda only?
Hello, good evening. A few questions, thank you for the presentation, but I think that in expansion of business programs, we should push for more personal finance, specifically as a requirement, even if it's in a class in June, for 1 week. I think that we should have it, because I can tell you of people who are younger or my age, there's not understandings about credit cards versus debit cards. There's not understanding about what a mortgage is, how this is paid, credit, how student loans work. I had a math teacher in high school. Had to, he actually explained to us how students work, how student loans work, and the actual principal and interest payments, and showed us an Excel spreadsheet. So I can just say that as a student who went to Long Beach High School, that personal finance should really be prioritized, and that I worked as a bank regulator and federal government, and I just see even people who are older, there's not a very good understanding of personal finance, particularly around what protections there are, and then I can go on, at length of how people really don't understand about, do I have to pay my full credit card? How much would it cost if I only make the minimum payment? Or many, many topics that a lot of people that there seems to be a gap in the education system. Also, I think that we should push for more dual enrollment, particularly a crisis facing my generation is student loans. And the average student loan debt is over $30,000. And I think that if we could maybe prioritize getting the first year or all the core requirements out of the way, that could be significant savings for students. I think we should focus less on IB, less on, which is almost at zero course transfers to colleges. Colleges, they're very limited for IB, I could say, but I know from my own experience and from many of my friends' experience who received the IB diploma, with the exception of the SUNY system, there is very little recognition of IB, and I think that if we want to do IB versus AP, AP beats it every time. My questions are, we have a reading of the Code of Conduct tonight, of a revised Code of Conduct, which I'm very pleased that the district is taking this step to comply with the law around Code of Conduct. And I'd just like to, it was not in the agenda and I didn't see it posted online, so when will it be available?
I believe it's online now. Mrs. Familetti, do you know? Is the Code of Conduct posted to the agenda online?
There is one posted, but the one with the revisions will be up tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and as you know, there'll be 3 readings, so we'll have.
And they're, all the audit be posted tomorrow as well, if it's approved then? Thank you.
Anybody else? Treasurer's report for September 2025. No action needed. Next, approval of minutes of executive session and regular meeting of October 14th, 2025, and executive session and regular meeting of October 28th, 2025. No action needed.
Motion made.
Second.
Any discussion? Sorry, Ms. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Pinto.
Yes.
Dr. Ryan.
Yes.
Ms. Yes. And that's vote yes. Presentation of the superintendent.
I ask the board to consider item 1, certificated personnel.
Motion.
Second. Any discussion? Ms. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Pinto.
Yes.
Dr. Ryan.
Yes.
Ms. Belsey.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Item 2, non-certificated personnel.
Motion made.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Pinto.
Yes.
Doc.
Yes.
Ms. Belsey. Yes. And I vote yes.
Items 3 and 4 we can take together. Their adoption of new policies, one are tributes and memorials, and actually a revised policy on field trips and excursions.
Motion. Second.
Discussion. Ms. Conway.
Yes.
Mr. Pinto.
Yes.
Doc.
Yes.
Ms. Belsey. Yes. And I vote yes.
Items 5 and 6 don't require any action. They're first reading of revised policies. I'd ask the board to consider item 7, the approval of the STEPS teacher evaluation plan according to Education Law 3012E.
Motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yes, I just, I read the plan a while ago before it was revised. I'm just concerned that there's no provision for student evaluation in the evaluation plan.
That's correct.
Why is that?
Because the state now has taken that out of the evaluation formula.
So we don't have the license to put it in if we want?
No. There's certain choices that you can make within the prescription of the STEPS plan. We can't really put it in any kind of a formal way. You can do it as part of the teacher project, but the teacher would have to elect to do that.
And why do you think, what do you think was the rationale of the state to impose student evaluation as part of the teacher step?
Well, you know, that was a relatively new component to the teacher evaluation program. It wasn't instituted until I believe 2013. So have you read about that? Yeah. And, you know, it was controversial from the beginning, I think, judging teachers based on how do you judge the successful woodworking teacher? How do you judge the successful welding teacher? How do you judge the successful music teacher? And so I think, you know, part of it was the controversy with that. Part of it was the recognition that assessments are flawed. You can't necessarily trust any one assessment as the be-all and end-all of student progress. So to really evaluate teachers according to student progress. You have to look at the whole of their progress throughout the year, even throughout the course of their schooling. I think it's actually a good move. I think it's a move back in the right direction of more holistic evaluation of what teachers do and how students are evaluated themselves.
I'm not too sure, but in terms of the individual teacher projects, will many of them focus on evaluation? Or do we not know yet?
We don't know yet. They have not, until the plan is approved, they don't have to submit their plan.
Good, thank you.
Anyone else? Can I get a motion?
Motion.
We have a second?
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Conlon?
Yes.
Mr. Pinto?
Yes.
Doc?
Yes.
Ms. Kelsey? Yes. And I vote yes.
Number 8 is the acceptance of the financial statements in the external audit report and corrective action plan.
Motion.
Second.
Second?
I just want to let you know, I went out to speak to auditor outside because this was a record time in terms of a presentation. It was like watching paint dry when you had these presentations in the past. I was somewhat apologetic, but I did tell her I thanked her because I think she hit all the salient points in terms of her presentation without reading the presentation to us and to you. So I was grateful for the delivery, for being comprehensive and for being relatively concise and respectful of time and other matters that we have to take in time. You know, I'm going out there, I just wanted to thank her and let her know that we were pleased with the comprehension of her report. Thank you.
I would also like to add a little layer of thanks to Mr. DeVito and his team. Sorry, Mr. Pinto. You know, when we read through the report, there's so much detail in it, so many different pieces of information. And, you know, having the auditor come really makes us feel secure, but I'm sure it also helps your team feel like appreciative and gives them the knowledge to know that their hard work is paying off. So please give them all our extended thanks.
Mr. Pinto,
Yeah, I just wanted to echo Ms. Conway's statement. I was showing her the draft, and it's extensive work done by the auditors, but it probably is just as extensive by your team. So glad that it has positive reviews. I mean, not saying positive, like positive, negative, but qualified versus unmodified. So those are good things, and great job. And yes.
Anybody else?
Yes.
No,
We're good? Okay. Did we make motions on that? I don't remember. Okay, great. Ms. Conlon?
Yes.
Mr. Pinto?
Yes.
Doc?
Yes.
Ms. Kelsey? Yes. And I vote yes.
Number 9 is just a notification of the availability of the district-wide school safety plan on our website. You will remember that we did approve it right at the very beginning of the school year, but the state asked to include some additional information in it, specifically according to Dash's law, which has to do with response to cardiac emergencies. For that reason, we need to add some additional information, so we're going through the process of getting it approved again, and it requires that we post it for 30 days. I'm going to ask the board to do items 10 through 15 together, but I have to make a comment first. You will notice that on item 12, we are accepting some donations, welcome donations from the BOE Foundation for our wellness center. Our wellness center has gotten a few donations, which we so appreciate as we move this important work forward. But I have to tell you also, a member of our community came to see me this week, and he introduced himself and said he wanted to make a donation in memory of his father, Barney Lessing, who is a career educator and a lifelong musician, a passion for jazz. And I'd like to particularly thank Mr. Mark Lessing, who's here tonight, for a $100,000 donation to our music program. That's the kind of donation that can change a student's life. You heard a student tonight who's found a passion for a program in our district. And as I said to you last week, we're going to discuss investing some of that so it can live on in perpetuity. But I can guarantee that a few children will play the saxophone as a result of that. So thank you.
I would think that is tremendously generous and really will go to a wonderful cause here, and we are eternally grateful. It's really phenomenal.
Well, I'm really grateful for everything all of you do and all the teachers do.
every day. You guys are really the ones who are donating your time.
It's not us, it's the
And they-
teachers and
you
the
know,
staff.
And the staff, wherever they are,
Yeah.
they're the ones who really make a big difference every day.
But to be in a position to do something like that and to honor your father in that way is really tremendous. And for someone in our community to give back to our schools is just, it just speaks volumes of who you are, who your father was. His memory and legacy will live on in these kids, and I think that's fabulous. So thank you so much.
That means you'll be getting invitations to concerts.
That's true.
Absolutely. Those for you.
That's very true. Okay, anybody else?
Actually, before I go to donations, Mr. DeVito, can you please explain what exactly happened at the legal complex with the glycol leak and the rooftop chiller?
Sometimes these things happen where, our equipment fails, there was a leak, and it had to be addressed. We couldn't wait to really,
It just sounds kind of serious because I said overheat. That was my concern. So what time of day was this when it occurred?
sorry, I don't.
Okay, that's okay. But we got it taken care of
Yeah,
right away.
it
Did you have
was
to wait?
addressed. No, that's part of why it's on the agenda and it's declared an emergency because we had to deal with it immediately.
Okay, and you'll let us know to make sure that the work is done properly and.
Yeah, it was already done.
Okay.
And Annie, I don't want to cut you off, but we just have to vote. We just have to accept everything. Because that was all the topic of.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. So do you want to make the comments about the donation before we vote on that? I know you
Yes,
said-
actually I do. I know that Neil from the Brewery Foundation wanted to be here. But they're just so appreciative of the high school and they really wanted to give back to the high school and to all that you guys have done to our community. And she also wanted to let you know that they want to be able to give more. So if there are other needs the high school has or the wrestling team has, please reach out to the Lions Brewery Foundation. They'll be more than happy to donate. Thank you.
Okay.
Now you can vote.
Okay, can we vote? We have motions? I can't recall now. Okay, thank you. Ms. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Pinto?
Yes, and thank you.
Yes, gratefully, thank you.
And Ms. Delsey?
Yes.
Yes, and I vote yes as well. Thank you again. Okay, now moving on, I think we're up to Board of Education, old and new. So if you have other items, Annie, you're welcome to bring them up now.
Yes, thank you. And I'm sorry if I got us off a little.
No, it's okay. Okay.
I'm not on. There we go. Now I'm on. First of all, I didn't get a chance to thank you for that $100,000 donation. Thank you so much. Your generosity really does speak volumes. I know, you can't even, there's no words, but thank you. I do have a couple of questions. Mr. DeVito, I've heard some things about the pool being a little cold at the high school.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
It's-
Shivering.
it's supposed to be at about 80 degrees,
Right.
right? And that's where it is for our swimmers. I know that it could be cooler if people are used to swimming in 88 degree
8 degrees.
indoor pools, at different places.
Perhaps in-
But that's really the target temperature
Okay.
for our swimmers. And it really can't make it warmer than that just because then it's not good for our swim athletes.
What about the air surrounding the pool?
I haven't heard anything that,
No.
that just, I think, that that's just really how it is. I know that the rec pool is actually colder.
The rec pool is cold.
That's not my standard.
I was concerned because I was hearing that it was chilly on the deck. And I know that we have the pool in our capital bond, so I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah, no,
if
it's-
you needed to help ensure that area
No.
was.
That basically what we're doing with the project, not part of the bond, was actually on the proposition last year, right? And so you may remember we had to drain it over the summer, so we took all the
Yes.
measurements. Those designs are going up to the state. And then in February, we're gonna start doing all the reconstruction of the pool deck. The whole bleacher, everything in the pool. But the pool heater is fine, So it's not really addressing the heating or the temperature, that's not gonna change. That'll always be around 80 degrees because that's our target
Well, that's your
temperature.
target. Okay, thank you,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
DeVito.
You're welcome.
I wasn't able to go because of my leg, but I know that the beach boutique from Dr. Mattelli was absolutely amazing. Really, the community was raving about it and how many clothes they got, so, and all the volunteers you had. And I know that it wasn't just you, but you were very instrumental in it, so please, thank you so much. And please extend our thanks to all of those volunteers and the kids and the adults as well for it. It was really, really very well done. I also want to give a big thanks for our Field of Honor. It is wonderful to drive past all of those flags and to see such beautiful loyalty towards our country. But all that hard work done by our middle school. And those are all of my comments. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
All of them.
Nope, sorry, Annie. So Annie stole my, my field of honor. It was really great seeing all the kids and in the paper and the flags up with the service number. It's really nice to see. So it's great. And also for Veterans Day, it was great seeing the BMW in the city and our local students go down and salute all the veterans. And our middle school, Mr. Hoffman came in and they were helping giving sweet treats, which made the veterans very happy. But yes, Mrs. Conway missed.
I forgot to say about the football.
Sorry, yes.
It was amazing on this weekend on Sunday.
Yeah, so congrats to the football team. They did a great job in the semis. They're going on.
To the first final in 39 years.
39
Yeah.
years. They play like such an amazing team. It was such a great game to watch.
So it's going to be at Hofstra on this Saturday.
Don't bring anything metal.
Yeah, Dr.
Only
Smith, can you set up
plastic
some sort
water
of wager
bottles.
with the principal of Garden City? I know it's not safe.
We'll see. When you switch colors or something.
Yeah, just some sort of wager, but it's pretty exciting. No matter how that game ends up, we are truly proud of all our sports and our athletes and our coaches and our cheerleaders and all our fans. So that's really great to see, and let's go Beach on that.
Go Beach.
Go Beach.
Back to academics, I just want to congratulate the 136 students who were inducted into the National Honor Society at high school last week. It was a very nice ceremony, it did excited, and you see the parents were quite proud. It was nice to salute the kids. So congratulations to those students and thank them for the work that they've done.
Ms. Dawson, did you want to make a comment? I did, but it was already made, so we'll leave that. And I did have the pleasure of attending that swap, the clothing swap, and my daughters came with me and they had a blast. So thank you, Dr. Masami, and it was a really, really wonderful event. And so please thank those volunteers for us. I appreciate that. Okay, I think we're up to questions and comments from the public on anything.
Edward Verona.
Hello, good evening again. As I stated earlier, I have not had the opportunity to read the revised code of conduct because it was not up this morning when I pulled up the agenda, but I would like to give my comments on any revisions to the code of conduct. I think a new code of conduct needs to prioritize discipline. And I think we need to end both restorative justice and all aspects of progressive discipline. Progressive discipline and restorative justice is this idea that suspensions are bad, that suspensions hurt students, hurt the school district, and that restorative justice attempts to reduce these amount of suspensions. And I think that that is both ineffective and wrong. I think that what we need is we need strong discipline with strong consequences for violating the code of conduct. I think also that having progressive discipline is very similar and also has similar consequences to progressive law enforcement and progressive prosecutions. We've seen in many cities throughout the country where low-level offenses, including loitering, fare evasion, marijuana use in public, and many others have been decriminalized or refused to be prosecuted. This has caused significant issues for these cities, including New York, with widespread violations, not just of laws that are still on the books and not being prosecuted, but also leading to more disorderly conduct and greater issues. I think that this idea that we should suspend less people under the guise of equity, under the guise of progress, is very unpopular amongst the school district, voters, and people in the community. And I've spoken to a variety of people over the past 3 weeks who live in the community, And they've all expressed to me that they think that attempting to reduce suspensions, attempting to not punish people or provide more lenient punishes for people who commit violations of the code of conduct is wrong. And I think overwhelmingly, if we look at the results of the election 2 weeks ago, especially here in Nassau County, that there was a rejection of progressive law enforcement, progressive prosecution. And I think that that trickles down into how many people feel about school discipline. So I think that, many people are opposed, specifically on Long Island, to recent proposals by the New York City mayor, for example, to end prostitutions as well as all misdemeanor offenses. And I think that it's wrong to try to say, well, this thing, maybe in the code of conduct, it's not really a big deal, but I think that if we're gonna end, we have very strong for all different areas of the code of conduct. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? None? Okay. Thank you. Okay, announcements. Long Beach Classroom Teachers Association.
Hello, Karen Bowman, CTA. Thank you, Mr. Harvey and Mr. Hack and Mr. Lerner and Alex for the presentation. It was awesome. Thank you, a huge thank you to these owners, especially who's here tonight. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Ms. Ford would have loved to be here. She knew the Berube one was going to be on here. She wanted me to extend the thank you as well. It also, I know we've heard it in our districts, but today is also SRP Day. I just wanted to say thank you to all our SRP workers as well. And one we didn't get to sum up, but in combination with our SRPL, the SCA, and LBCTA, we were able to raise over $7,300 this year for breast cancer last month. And that was worth it and put us over 66,000 since we started a few years back. We're currently now taking for the food pantry. We're almost up to about 1,000. We're going to donate that right now before break. So thank you to everybody who has contributed, and we appreciate all the help. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? As far as donations for the food pantry, are we at the point now where we're not collecting food anymore and just money is
Buildings, some buildings are collecting food and they don't make the food donations. What they have found the past few years when I spoke to the person who runs the pantry, what we actually do is I take out cash and give them cash and bring it Tuesday. So they go buy their last minute, turkeys and things that they need for the families. So they have preferred the cash donations.
Okay.
So that's what we've been doing.
Great, thank you.
Okay, administrative supervisory and PTS.
Hello, Andrew Smith, Vice President. Wanted to thank the generous donations, Music and from the Berube Foundation. I wanted to also congratulate the SRPs for wonderful, they're the backbone of our school district and often the unsung hero. So I wanted to congratulate them and thank them for it. Thank you.
Thank you. LBSCA, Group C? Nothing? Okay, Parent Teacher Association.
Well, you noticed tonight those giant white bags on your chairs. Enjoy those Year Board recognition gifts. Thank you so much for everything you do for us as big kids.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Megan, we're the co-presidents.
Yeah.
That's on behalf of all the kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank
much
you
for your donations. As I have a child in the music department, so we're happy. And also enjoys the wellness center. So thank you for that. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Enjoy your gifts. Yes.
Make a motion.
Motion?
Second.
Opposed?
We're adjourned. Thank you,
Aye,
everybody.
all in favor?
Oh,